The need for human connection and intimacy is a basic need of our biology as humans. And therefore, our relationships with other people play a really big role in defining how we view ourselves and our capacity to function in the world around us. If we've had loving, supportive, kind caretakers, then we might internalize a sense of being lovable and likable, even safe in the greater world around us. But if we've had caregivers who were neglectful or absent, who were emotionally or psychologically abusive, perhaps didn't teach us to trust our own internal world, or we were given the job of taking care of them way too soon. We call that being parentified, being the primary caretaker as a child, or we're even physically or sexually abused. Our brain is going to develop ways of perceiving the world to make sense of those early experiences. And even if those experiences come to an end, the beliefs continue on throughout the rest of our lives. How does this show up? Well, deep anxiety and insecurity, fearfulness around abandonment or rejection. Did some earlier videos on rejection sensitive dysphoria. Very, very real complexes around abandonment and not being worthy or good enough. These beliefs can follow us for a very, very long time, and even in some instances feel like they take on a life of their own. Noticing when we get triggered into these belief cycles is a very important part of our healing journey. Recognizing when our brain clicks into a well-worn path of, oh, I'm not good enough, or self-criticizing, I'm just so stupid, I'll never get this right. Those are simply neural pathways that the brain has learned across the course of time to try and keep us safe. And when we understand that in these interpersonal relationships, we're way more likely to be triggered because that's usually where these belief systems initially come from, we're able to step back and start taking space and changing the way we are in our day-to-day lives. Remember that 90% of the past defining the present moment. Well, we can take that filter out. We can do that through doing the CPR for the amygdala and breath work exercise we talked about in the previous video. Doing the journaling exercises where in a moment of being triggered or ruminating about something, don't just write down what's happening, but ask yourself that critical question. Does this belong to here and now? As in, was this person genuinely violating my boundaries? Or are there experiences from my past that are playing into what's happening right now and causing me to feel triggered or activated, or for my brain to take me down those old pathways of being not good enough, of being stupid, of being unlovable, and all the other stories that our brain likes to tell us? Starting to understand these critical components is so helpful in being able to unpack and find the opportunities for self-healing. Anytime you find a moment from the past, do that CPR for the amygdala. Calm your brain down, because that's an old AMPA receptor, a little receptor in your amygdala showing up and playing a role in making sense of your present reality. It's so cool that we can literally change how we're experiencing each moment simply through taking little self-havening steps and developing intentional awareness into where beliefs came from, rather than putting on those beliefs as hard felt hats of truth, because they're not. They're simply neurons that develop to keep you safe.